Diva. She's a singer, songwriter, actor, and a performer. 17 magazine voted her the top young South African artist, and she was a finalist in the Cosmopolitan Most Awesome Women of the Year, also recipient of the Durban Theatre Awards. You were nominated 3 times for Durban Theatre Awards, right?
Yeah.
Congratulations.
Thank you.
Yeah, it's really good to have you with us. And then, of course, Stephen Vincent, at the age of 16, it was that he won the title of UK Latin Champion and represented the UK internationally at the World Championships. Theatre credits include Latin Fever, Simply Ballroom, and Priscilla, Queen of the Desert. So lovely to have you with us in studio as well.
Thank you very much.
Afternoon. Firstly, let's talk about it. It's so good that we have one South African and one international artist with us in the studio, working with people or artists from across the globe. What's that synergy like?
It's very interesting. Firstly, you got to get past all the accents.
Stephen has quite an accent, eh?
He has, but his is you can
The tamest
understand.
of them.
It's tamer. The Italians, though, sometimes it's a bit hard to to understand them.
Yeah.
But it's really such an eye-opening experience, especially as a South African. I have come to find that there's so many similarities between us and other countries, and it's a great thing to know. That way, when I go to Italy next time, I'll feel quite at home.
But do you ever feel like you have an advantage over the international artists? Because, you know, every time they're in Johannesburg, say you guys are performing in Johannesburg and they say they want to go to the beach and you can just laugh them off for it.
Shame. Yeah, shame. Johannesburg was quite, I think the first thing about Johannesburg is because it's so high up.
Yeah.
So I think for most of the dancers, dancing there was really hectic for them.
Yes.
Just because of the breathing, you can't really breathe there. It's the same for Durbanites when we go when I went to Johannesburg, it was quite hard to breathe. Stephen, how was it for you?
It was tough. But I think going back to your question about how we all get along, I think the good thing about us is that we dance and we don't necessarily speak. So dance is almost like a universal language. So it's quite amazing that we all come together and create a show, and we all from different cultures, different backgrounds, speak different languages, but we all speak the same language of dance.
It really is a unique thing, isn't it?
It is.
Well, each of you, can you remember your very first, even if amateur, vocal and dance performance?
I'm going to reveal my age. My very first vocal performance was a singing competition. It was a school's idols competition. So it was all these kids from all these schools up there in the Hillcrest Kloof High School area. That's where I went. I went to Kloof High School. And I won it. I didn't think I would, but I won $1,000. And back then that was a lot of money. And I sang Mariah Carey. I won it with a Mariah Carey song. Yeah, she was one of my idols back then, and still is. Yeah.
Stephen, what about you?
Well, my first ever performance, believe it or not, was with Burn the Floor.
Yeah.
When I was 17 years old. I joined the company back in 2006, and I got flown to Australia. That was my first ever experience, and I'm so fortunate to have that, because they are they're a world-leading ballroom Latin dance company. Like they were a big name in our industry, and I got the opportunity to join the company very young. And my first performance was at the Crown Casino in Melbourne.
So I read somewhere that you started professional dancing at the age of 6.
I started dancing at 6.
Okay.
I probably turned, say, professional when I crossed over into the theatre world when I was 16, 17. And Burn the Floor was my first ever job. I was very spoiled and very lucky. I got sort of pushed into the big leagues pretty quickly.
Yeah.
It was a massive learning curve, but an experience I think I'll never forget.
Lelo, there's been a number of awards already, like we mentioned, to be acknowledged by the peers and people of your industry. How does that make you feel?
It's really surreal for me because when I get onto a stage, I do it because I love to do it, and I always just want to give my all to the audience. So there's no expectation of receiving any kind of award after that. So when it does come, it's truly humbling, and I'm very grateful for it. It's awesome.
Stephen, we were talking earlier on about you from 6 to 16. And how did you manage to nurture this talent into a professional dancer?
It was a quite an interesting journey. Like it takes a lot of commitment and it takes a lot of passion. Like with any art form, it's very, you give it your all and you reap the rewards if you commit and believe in yourself. And I was fortunate. I had a lot of support from my family, dance teachers. I'm originally from Manchester in the UK, so being a young lad dancing in Manchester is not the easiest thing when you're growing up. There's a lot of stigma that comes with it, and I had a huge support from my family and my friends. And I got a little bit of a push from my dance teacher, who recognised I had a bit of talent for it, and they definitely saw that I had the passion for it. I couldn't sit still as a kid. And I think, those were the ingredients that sort of got me where I am today, and I'm very grateful for it.
What about you, Lelo? I believe you have signed a contract which states that you will be dancing to your songs as well in this production.
Dancing to my own songs.
Yes.
I wish. Come on, yeah, I wish. I would love to, but
Come on, you're not one of those with two left feet, right? That's me.
no, I don't have to lift it. I can boogie.
Yeah.
Give me a dance floor anywhere in the world, and I'll show you some of my moves.
So who's considered? I should ask it this way: do you guys have anyone that's considered to be sort of a dance or song god?
Oh.
You mean like an inspiration?
An inspiration, an absolute idol.
My inspiration, by far, is Michael Jackson. I'm a huge Michael Jackson fan. Just because he combines the, I don't know, he takes a lot of inspirations himself from other artists.
Yeah.
His dance moves are legendary. You'll see me pop in a few of them into the show every now and
Wow.
again when no one's...
Yeah.
We actually feature one of Michael Jackson's songs as well in the
Yeah.
show, which I was super excited about. He's my biggest inspiration.
Mariah Carey for you? No.
Beyonce.
Beyonce.
Is by far my both dance and vocal inspiration, because she does both, I think, so well, and she really knows how to command an audience and get people just staring at her and her alone. And her vocal is super amazing. Yeah.
Wow. Well, guys, we're certainly looking forward to you burning the dance floor
Yeah.
over this weekend in Durban. And I'm sure that everyone's going to come up to you guys and congratulate you on a fantastic show. I've seen the photographs. I've heard the news already from the rest of the country who've seen the show. So I know that Durban audience is going to love and embrace you every moment of it as well.
We hope so. We hope so.
So there you go, Lelo Ramasimong and Stephen Vincent joining me live in studio this afternoon. They're cast members of Burn the Floor, which is on in Durban this weekend. You're listening to Lotus FM. It's a lunch break with Varshan. Stay tuned for more.